può arrivare Chiellini, poi il limite della destra, gol! Tevez sta solo, Tevez al limite dell'area, gli fa fuori tutti, Tevez, si apre la porta, Tevez, gol! Da dietro, Pirlo dentro,
Buongiorno Bianconeri, welcome back to the channel. All right, there's nothing to explain here. If you're a diehard Juve fan, this is a channel for you. So if you found us, make sure you smash that subscribe button, all right? Everybody that's already with us and everybody that's going to be joining us, please hit the like button. And also don't forget to ring the damn bell on YouTube and set those notifications on so you're always aware of what we got dropping. And I'll just tell you, everybody right out of the gate, we're happy to announce that we got Mirko Di Natale joining us live on Sunday for a fun little session, post-Mercato wrap-up, and just talking all things Juve. Mirko, oh man, we love Mirko at AJC, and he loves the AJC too. So today, hey, the usual suspects. Luca's back, Omer's back. We are going to tackle what was Juve versus Lazio in the Coppa Italia, and Juve seeing the victory through at 1-0. We are going to talk about news that took place today, but we're going to get to that at the end of the show today. So first, we're going to tackle the game. We're going to go through the recap. We're going to talk about highlights and key points, and then we're going to take on the day's news and see a big look ahead to February, which is going to be extremely busy for Juventus. Luca, Omer, how you guys doing? Luca, how you feeling?
Guys, we won a game.
Yes.
We all three of us predicted a loss yesterday, so I think we're all going to be happy this morning.
There you go. There you go.
Loss. We predicted a draw.
And then you predicted a loss.
No, I haven't said that. I said I'm not taking any prediction.
In overtime we lost.
No, I said 2-2, and I'm not taking a bet on the overtime.
Oh, how quickly it changes.
Dude, it's on YouTube. We can go check. You want to bet?
Yeah.
I told everybody yesterday I'm going to switch things up, and I'm going to, for the first time, as long as I can remember, predict a loss for Juventus. And we got the win, so maybe I got to keep that thing going. I kept the mustache going for everybody forever. Now I got to keep the reverse predictions to see if it brings us luck. Let's say what's up to everybody in the live chat so far. Join us. We got Jeremiah out of the gate here. Hey guys, a win is a win. I'll take it. Hopefully we can go all the way and win the Coppa. It'll be a huge confidence boost, and it's a ticket into the Europa there for a guarantee. So, yeah, we got to think about that as well. Muhammad coming in here saying good morning. Locatelli cooked the best homemade meal in Italy yesterday. I'm just going to put it out there, and we're going to kick things off with this. To the Floppatelli crowd, you can address all your apology letters to 1897. I'm sorry to you. We were wrong, and Locatelli is a house. Okay? So you can address all the apology letters there. This guy, we always said, take it easy on Loca. Look at other problems. Leave Loca alone. Bob Yoksel saying good morning, Juventini. Here we go. Ciao, guys, from Anthony. Ciao from Bikram Jeet. Oh, look at old Noni's coming in here saying that win was for you. There you go. Hi,
Grandpa.
So let's get to this game, everybody. So we'll tackle the game, and then we'll get to all the news because there is some things we have to definitely discuss now. So Juve Lazio, the starting lineup was as predicted. It was Perin, Danilo, Bremer, Sandro, Cuadrado, Fagioli, Locatelli, Rabiot, and Kostic with Chiesa and Vlahovic up top. We spoke about it prior to the game heading into there, and it was, hey, that's probably the best we have right now going into that game. And, you know, we'd have eyes on Chiesa and Vlahovic, how their combination play was going to be, what was going to happen. But we knew that we needed more out of Rabiot and Kostic based on performances heading into that game. And we needed some more solidity come from the back. I think we kind of got a combination of everything, and we're going to tackle that and whatnot. But let's go through the highlights real quick. So starts off with, I got to say, again, this is a trend that needs to go away, but Juve starting off extremely slow. 13th minute, the first chance goes to Lazio. It falls on a pass that gets right across the entire area, falls to Zaccagni, and Zaccagni tries to go far post and curl it in, but he misses. A couple minutes later, Kostic gets into the penalty area, turns his man, tries a shot from a bad angle, does force a save from Maximiano. And then 27th minute, we have a free header from Rabiot. Juve grew in that. They started off really slow. 15 minutes on, it started to get better and better and better towards the end when we finally felt like late 30th minute started to pin them back and actually apply some pressure. 27-minute free header from Rabiot, just couldn't direct it to a corner. So easy save for Maximiano. 33rd minute, Lazio, it felt like they got nothing and all their opportunities were from distance essentially. And this was another one from Felipe Anderson, shot from well out, and Perin actually watches it out comfortably. 43rd minute, and this is it. We get a corner kick. It gets a scramble outside. Chiesa ends up keeping it in. He has it back to the far post. It's headed clear, but Kostic stays on it, flips the ball back into the mixer with Bremer there. And no, he doesn't head it in. He necks it in, like back of the neck, going in. Highly skilled finish. This guy, okay? Highly skilled finish there from Bremer. Look, I'll take it. I don't care what part of the body it hits. Get that ball in the net. We needed the goal. It was nice to see Bremer be able to contribute. He is always involved in aerial duels and stuff like that, and he's been getting his headers, not able to get onto them properly and latch onto them. He gets a lot of those opportunities. It was nice to see him get this one. And we take the 1-0 lead and we go into halftime. Guys, your overall views on that match at halftime. Let's start with Omer.
Okay. With Juve, it's always like a tale of two halves. And so I'm just kind of hoping they continue this trend, but it was obvious Lazio are going to make some changes. But overall, please, I told you earlier, I can't be angry for, a few weeks straight. We gotta have some win somewhere, and that match felt good. Juve felt in control, limited Lazio a lot. They, like you said, they didn't have any shots except from outside the area. Very static. Something just didn't click for them, and it did click for us. Some of the guys were actually performing. It looked like our better starting 11. Vlahovic was rusty. The desire was there. Everything was there, but he looked rusty in the first half. And that's about it. It was pretty good.
There you go. Now, Luca, your thoughts?
I mean, not much to add. This might have been the first impressive, 45 minutes we've seen since the World Cup break. I didn't go into the halftime thinking, okay, the game is up for grabs. I mean, yeah, we're up by 1, but I think we pretty much dominated them. I still think there is room for improvement. I'll say that, but definitely one of the best 45 I've seen in a while from our team. It wasn't really tactics in any sense. It was more like the guys have a desire. They look like they want to be there, and they look like they want to win. That's about it. We could start nitpicking at the little things, which I'm sure we will after we get the full recap done. But I think about a halftime, I'm happy, honestly.
Is Bremer too athletic? Like that jump, he jumped too high. Right, that's why he had to head it
down to get to that. He's just a unit, man. He's huge.
He's a unit.
He's just huge.
I saw that a lot from Drogba.
The first half for me, like I said, there's a lot of feelings around this team. I'm going to dive more into it once we get all the highlights done. But overall, I was happy with it. We talked about, there was a lot of talks about trying something new and people looking at that lineup that was predicted and saying, hey, potentially 4-3-3 and all this. And I thought, you know what? There's too many uncertainties and whatnot. And a lot of our issues come down to, like Luca was saying, is effort and energy and determination and fight. That's half the battle right there. Yeah. I went on a big rant on yesterday's show, and I think we kind of saw that that's the case. We have to bank on the guys that aren't really going to be there next season. We got to bank on the guys that are going to be there next season and kind of steer clear of the ones who aren't and don't want to be there. Locatelli is a prime example over these past few matches. Like when he comes in as a substitute for Paredes, I know that Max Allegri is trying to protect Paredes in his press conference and whatnot, but the guy has offered nothing. He's made one good pass, and his second contribution was kicking Tonali in the shins. That's about all we've gotten from Paredes in a nutshell. But Locatelli comes in, and again, if people are upset with the quality or whatever, the fact is that he's got that drive. Yesterday, all game, you saw him barking orders to everybody and whatnot. So the first half, I was extremely happy with the effort, the determination. The defensive work, I loved it. And we've always known, like, flooding the midfield is the best for us, and it helps support the flanks too, which I think will suffer and be weak if we want to go to 4-3-3 and 4-2-3-1. I just think it's going to suffer. But I'm not against trying it because I think we do owe it to ourselves based on our offensive talent. However, I don't think the Coppa Italia game against Lazio is where you want to try it. And we'll get into that after we get the highlights. My only issue with the first half is that still in the final third, this team lacks a shared understanding. And it's all uncertainty, and it's guys freewheeling, and that's why it's not gelling and clicking, because number one, Vlahovic is just getting into the mix. Chiesa is also just getting to the mix. And when you throw in the fact that there's no set designs, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a mess because these guys are legitimately doing that. They're freewheeling. So it kind of shows up. But other than that, I was happy. I was told by somebody on Twitter that Lazio were going to open up highways on the flanks. I think those roads were under construction yesterday because I didn't see it. All right. So it must have been a mud pit or whatever. But I make sure to keep my receipts, and I made sure I let him know first thing this morning when I woke up. Good morning, everybody. Juventus victory. Let's get into the second half. So not a lot of highlights in the second half. We'll talk about this. And again, started off really slow in the second half. Juve sitting back, and you thought, oh, man, are we going to sit this one through? Not necessarily the case. They tried to hit back at Lazio, try to get some insurance. 66th minute, we get some good ball movement, working from one wing with Chiesa, slotting it over to Miretti, who has a quick pass to Cuadrado, back into Miretti, who lays it off for Locatelli, has a really good shot, but too easy for Maximiano as he was trying to go short side. Easy stop. 69th minute. This is a great ball from Locatelli. This is a sequence that we have seen from Juve before, but it just doesn't click often because the guys aren't in sequence or in timing and whatnot. But this one actually did click. Pass from the flank inside to Locatelli. Miretti was already high, so Locatelli had the ability to cut in towards his flank. And then he just puts a beautiful ball over the top. Keane gets tugged by Patrick. If he goes down there, that's a red card. Mm-hmm. He doesn't, though. He fights through it. And gets a good opportunity that Maximiano, when you watch a replay, doesn't know a whole lot about. He thought it squeaked through. Luckily, it sat there. You want to see Keane finish those, but he did well to fight through, and just didn't fall for him and whatnot. It was a good, hard strike. Fall. But Omer, go ahead.
I'm happy it didn't fall to the ground.
Yeah.
We complain about it, that players fall too easily and looking for the fouls. No, you have the strength. Power through. Next time, it's a goal.
There are times when I say you can do that and whatnot, but if you're going to take yourself away from a scoring opportunity, I think that's probably not the move to make. So I agree with you, Omer. I like the fact that he fought through there because he took Patrick on 1v1 and he absolutely broke his ankles as he hit the ground.
Handled him.
And he got a solid, hard rip-off. Probably not where he wanted to aim it, but it gave Maximiano problems, and if it squeaks through, we would have been giving him a whole lot more praise. So I like in that sense he fought through and he went for it.
That pass, we need to admire that pass.
Locatelli it was beautiful. Locatelli had a game. We will definitely get to Locatelli. 76 minute Marusic, he has a rip from far out, and Perin watch it. This is how you know when Perin's on, or any goalkeeper for the fact. He's watching shots that look relatively close from camera angles, TV angles, and he's watching them out knowing it's not going. And that one looked maybe a little closer than how comfortable he was. So he was in complete control and knew 100% everything he needed to in that area. You saw him watch multiple off very comfortably. Great job from Perin there. And this one wraps up 1-0. We see it out comfortably. Obviously, Di Maria had come in and he gets a sequence all wrong, and Mad Max was in full force. I thought it was a fan screaming at the top of his lungs, and it ended up being Allegri, and he left. He literally leaves the sideline and goes inside. And I got asked this because I posted a clip just in reference to it, and of course, Luca keeping everybody in line.
On your toes, man.
That's not from this game. I realize that. You could easily tell from the scoreboard that said Udinese. However, it was funny just to use it because it was another flip out session by Max. And I got asked this by a fan and said, what does this do for you? I don't understand why you and any other Juventini like post this stuff or whatever. And I go, dude, it's okay to laugh once in a while, regardless of everything going on in Juventus land and whatnot. It's okay to laugh once in a while. It was hilarious seeing him flip out like that. And to be honest, rightfully so, because a piss poor decision from Di Maria, who actually made a few when he came on. And again, that final third play from Juve is what I'm going to criticize the most. We have to figure things out in the final third. But we're going to get to more. You guys' thoughts on Max Allegri when he loses? I just find it hilarious.
I heard it, and I knew it was him. But what killed me is that it was like you knew he walked away from the bench because it started loud and then it just dropped in volume. So you knew he was walking away from the mic.
Man,
and the bench.
It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious.
I only saw it afterwards because my pizza just arrived. I had to leave to get it. What happened? So I saw it later on Twitter. But it's welcome. Every time it happens, it's welcome. Then I told Lou today that if he'd been like that from minute 1, he won't have to be like that at the end of the game.
Oh, man.
Oh, he would. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Like, he definitely, I don't think any human being has it in them to be like that all the time, because you would probably drop on the sideline there. But yeah. We're going to get to everything.
If you're going to have a heart attack,
Juve getting the job done. We now meet Inter in the Coppa Italia semis, and that's, of course, going to be April 4th and 25th. But we're going to talk a bit more in review of this game. But hang on a second, because
don't tell me Anthony's jumping in. Oh,
we got RB Comps asking Anthony, but Anthony's not on the show, so maybe just keep it to. Oh, what?
Oh, see, I knew it.
Whoa.
Is that?
Can you hear me okay? I didn't set it up properly. I'm in a different spot. Am I
are you in
okay?
a fishbowl?
Because you three, am I in a fishbowl? Doesn't matter. Because you three, hear me out, you three. Shame on you three for yesterday. Shame on you three. Yes, Omer, you did predict a loss. So shame on you three. I'm not going to get into the comments. Everybody in the comments said yesterday. I'm talking. You guys quiet for a minute, especially you, Luca. Shame on you three. For you three, bam, that's for you right there. If you didn't see it, come this way, straight at you three. All right,
Anthony.
I'm not done talking yet.
Simmer down.
Now we start a roll. All right. So everybody, let's keep the positivity up a little bit. We need a little bit more positivity from everybody. Lucas, stop shaking your head. All right. Great win yesterday. And did we stink yesterday? People we finally have a good game, and there's people out there who get mad at blowing out their birthday candles. Those are the people that would complain about a game yesterday.
Okay,
what a great game that was.
And did you take your meds this morning?
All right, man. Red Bull in the morning, not a good idea, ladies and gentlemen.
I haven't had my coffee yet.
Okay, one, I think your memory is starting to betray you. I predicted a draw. Second, you sound like you're not wearing any pants.
That's none of your business, Omer. All right, that is none of your damn business.
I didn't ask. I just said that's how you sound like.
Have a great show, fellas.
Okay,
thanks, Grandpa.
Anthony, wow.
Kick him out, please, before we.
First of all, it was a reverse prediction to make everything turn the tides. But Ant coming in hot, and he's happy about it. He
definitely not wearing any pants.
Again, that kind of ties in with the whole Allegri thing too. It's yes, there's things we still need to work on, but you can definitely still be happy. Just be happy for the win, okay? And let's see where this thing goes. We made it very clear, and everybody knows, everybody in the chat knows, how important Coppa Italia has become as an entry into Europa. And we are going to tackle Europa League. We're going to tackle Coppa Italia in a bit here. Let's get to man of the match here. I think it's going to be damn well unanimous. However, we'll talk about outside performances too. Luca, man of the match.
Obviously, man of the match is Locatelli, but I do want to give a big shout out to Bremer. He, since the Napoli performance, has definitely every game better and better. And yesterday with that goal, honestly, great from him. That he would have been my second choice.
There you go. I think Bremer's a great shout. I would have had him up there as well, but Locatelli, free and clear. Omer, anything to add to man of the match?
Locatelli, Bremer, and I also add Kostic. He had a great game, in my opinion.
That's a good point.
Kostic played a good game. Now, we want to talk about it. Obviously, I had Locatelli as my man of the match, and I'm going to let all the Floppatelli guys know well and clear that I've been against it for the entire time, saying look elsewhere for issues, okay? Yesterday, I thought I painted a really clear picture on how lacking we are in terms of leadership, and guys that shouldn't have to be in there now are being forced. This is kind of what we're seeing. But Locatelli, he's got that something about him right now that shows he's kind of a man on a mission and wants to prove everybody that he's here for the long haul. He gives a shit. And those are the guys we need to bank on. Chiesa and Luca, they give a shit. I'm not saying that the other guys don't, but it comes through in performances, because you can hit that microphone in an interview and you can say whatever the hell you want, and it doesn't mean a damn thing until you put it out there on the pitch. The guy gives 110% of everything he has every second he's out there for Juve. Look elsewhere for problems. Now, Kostic getting a shout from Remo for man of the match. Let's talk about Kostic in this performance, because to be honest, it was a better showing from him, but the frustrations still come through. And is that him? Is that lack of that guidance, light of that structure we talk about in the offensive final third? Because it still comes through, and it's still more often than not a little too soon to cross, and a lot of errant crosses still. He did find the one to Bremer there. He found Rabiot on another one that he wasn't able to tap on, but a lot of other ones were errant. So what are you guys thinking there from Kostic? Because I still remain the same after this game. Yes, it was a better showing from Kostic. I want to see a little more of Illing Jr. And that's just me and whatnot. But what do you guys think? Let's break down Kostic a little bit further here.
Okay. I like the way he plays. I like this, get the ball into the area quick before the defense have time to organize and man mark everyone. And that's the problem. When I say everyone, that means Vlahovic. Because yesterday, every time Kostic crossed into the area, there was no one there. It was Vlahovic and another 4 black shirts around him. And that's a huge problem. You can cross how much you like, but if you have one guy inside the area, I mean, no one even on the edge of the area, then the chances of him actually making, getting a clear header or something are slim to none. So I don't think it's mainly Kostic problem, because you cross it into the area and you want at least 3 guys in there. Someone, it will be closer to him, someone further away from him. He does cross a lot. That's just the way to create chances. That's the way we play, through the flanks right now. But no one is joining in, so I can't fully blame him. Put 2-3 guys there and you might have another goal from one of those crosses.
And we're not talking about, when I say a lot of errant crosses, obviously I'm not talking about the ones that he does put in the mixer that just don't find a target. It's when he looks up and he knows where his guys are, yet still decides to put one low and hard across the carpet with 2 defenders in between him and his target that is easily cleared. It's those ones that are frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
Because
I will say something about it. If you watch the Bundesliga a lot, that's mostly the way they cross and
that's a good point.
Players move into that path and always looking, to get ahead.
Okay.
And that's if you do latch onto it, that's very hard for the keeper.
But it's February at a club he's been playing with since the start of the season, and we don't do that.
Yeah, that's just that's what he's used to. But that's something Allegri has to tell him. Cross it to the far post. He has to work with the team and tell everyone where to be. Someone at the far post, someone at the near post, someone hold back a bit, and then you have options. Mostly when he crosses, there are no options. Just hoping.
I don't have an issue with Kostic in general, but the ability to beat a guy 1v1 is extremely important to this Juventus if Max Allegri doesn't bring any set ideas, patterns, or whatnot in the final third. All of a sudden, these guys that can win 1v1s becomes crucial.
Right.
This is the reason I bring up Kostic, is because, yes, he's a crosser. That's his game. He will take that extra step. He will beat a guy for that extra step to have the ball in. But, again, I want to see a little more of Illing Jr. because he has that willingness. He can go down the byline, but he will also cut inside. He will shoot. He has no fear of shooting with his off foot as well. And again, I just want to see a little bit more of it. Kostic also has played a lot, and he had down performances leading up to this one. Yesterday was a more positive showing, but again, is what Kostic is bringing, not that he's necessarily at fault, but is something else and a different characteristic and a different trait, something that could help this team a little bit more offensively. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So
his work rate is something we missed on the list.
Yeah.
Gotta give
Luca,
him credit for that.
Your thoughts?
You guys said a lot that I'm thinking, and I think we all have we're on the same page here. What I want to point out what I did like yesterday from Chiesa, and I think Max had a play in this. Whenever Kostic was on that wing and looking forward, Chiesa took the wing, and so, Kostic would give it to him, and then Fede would basically become that winger, and Kostic would go more centrally. So it wasn't really like a top-of-the-box option, but he was there for that short pass. So Chiesa would try to take on that man. He could if he wanted to. He did it. And if not, he would cross it. I liked that as that second striker role. Like Sule did it once or twice with Keane, and it gives Kostic something different because I don't think he's going to take on the man, whereas Chiesa or Sule or even a Di Maria will. So I like that combination. And whenever, let's say, he couldn't, Kostic was there, he rolls it back, and he swings it into Vlahovic. It's not perfect, but I think I see what Max is working on in that sense. And he did some similar stuff on the right side where Chiesa would try to pull in, and if not, Juan was right there, rolls it back to Juan, Juan just flips it back in. So I'm not going to say it's a perfect solution. I do think, and I've said it, I've been vocal about it, Illing takes on his man. I think that's something we need from our fullbacks. But I also appreciate the effort that Kostic provides. He's simple. You know that he's not going to try to take on his man and then lose the ball like a Cuadrado will do 9 out of 10 times. So for that, it's fine. But, we've touched a lot of good. I think at this point we're really nitpicking. And yesterday, for what Lazio set up and what we set up, I think the system was fine. I wouldn't change it.
I think that's a good point. I think the difference is that Chiesa drifted left a lot. And you don't get that with Di Maria or Sula. They are drifting right. And you
that's what I've noticed.
Obviously see the overload on the right flank. And we talked about it. But now when Chiesa plays and he drifts left, suddenly Kostic has passing options, which might be better for him, and he won't have to cross every time.
It works better, I think. Yeah, I saw it a lot better yesterday. And here's another point. We're going to build on this next. Rabiot actually ran yesterday, so Kostic had support on that left flank. That was crucial.
Usually he's all alone there.
I'm going to talk to Rabiot in a more general sense as we get a little further on. How about we bring up Cuadrado here? As Noor coming in here saying we should also mention Cuadrado. Not a fan, but does it show how much we're missing a player like him on the right?
Can I start?
No.
Okay.
Omer. Go ahead, Luca.
Okay. I'll keep it concise because Anthony's going to get mad if not. he wasn't great, but he wasn't terrible. He definitely was better than, let's say, a Weston because he's natural in that position. Could we do better? I think we're going to have to and look in the market for something better because we're obviously not extending. But it was refreshing to see him back and not be terrible. So those are my words.
Yeah, I think he kind of lost his attacking ability. Like at one point in the game, I thought to myself, man, what a beautiful dribbler he used to be. Mm-hmm. He was, with the ball always attached to his feet, beating guys 1v1 all the time, near the byline, in tight spaces, and he kind of lost that. But having said that, and take it as you will, everyone, his defensive abilities, we have no one on the squad who can perform that role defensively like Cuadrado.
He did well defensively, I think.
Right now, and I said it going into it as well, what he's done defensively at that wingback role is completely made it shut down for us, and it's good. It's good. He had to take a professional foul yesterday in that game, which he did, and that was huge. On a 1-2, he got beat. That recognition immediately and knowing what to do, when to do it, that's top-level stuff, and I'm not so sure that the coverage for him there would have picked it up as quick as he did. So it is what it is. Obviously, maybe they would have, and we don't know. It's all speculation, but that's a professional foul from Quad, and probably the only time on that flank he got beat yesterday. Mm-hmm. And he knew what to do immediately, and we take it and we move on and we can regroup. Big stuff what he's done defensively. Offensively, you guys you nailed it on the head. Like, he's lost that step. He's lost that. That happens to players as they get older. For me, the frustration with him offensively is that when you start to lose a step as you get old, and we've seen this, we can go over a million examples. You have to adapt your game because that happens. That happens naturally.
He continues.
He hasn't necessarily adapted. So you can watch defenders as he's lining them up, and he is backing them up still. And that threat is still there. They're still concerned about it because they know he's going to attempt it. He needs to adapt, take advantage of that, maybe push them a little further and look for those trailing runs. Yesterday, he did on one occasion, maybe two occasions, and it ended up with an opportunity, or maybe that sequence broke down later on down the line. But if he can push these guys further back, maybe instead of trying to go direct and beat them, adapt and take him down the line to the end line and then have that trailing cross or whatnot. He just needs he needs to learn that he doesn't have the step he once has and needs to move. Now, in terms of a question we got here, which was going back to Kostic and whatnot, do you think he's doing this on his own and it's not Allegri's instruction? I believe it is completely on his own. And the reason is because look at the contrast from one side to the other. If we were being instructed that we want to just fill the area with crosses, then you wouldn't have Cuadrado doing what he's doing on the opposite side, which is carrying the ball forward, looking to at least be that 1v1 threat, because he's not flooding the area with crosses. And again, if he was being instructed to, you would know damn well that Max would be losing his mind. These guys have free reign in the final third. Max Allegri's teams historically have always had free reign. Kostic plays the way he plays. Cuadrado plays the way he plays. And all our creation guys, they want to be on the ball. Chiesa, Di Maria, and whatnot. It is freewheeling improvisation at its finest in the final third. I'm sticking to that because there's no way, if we're being instructed to cross, it would be happening from both flanks, and it would be literally get down there, cross that ball in. Not seeing.
Yeah, that's basically what Allegri is. He even said that. I don't remember the perfect quote, word for word, but said you can lead players to the door, but you gotta let them open it because everyone will open it a different way. So it's kind of get to the final third, then you have freedom of choice to do what you want. We've talked about not making any, not working on attacking patterns and stuff.
Now, in terms of Adrian Rabiot, obviously a better showing for him yesterday. Look, we talked about it. You go down the list. Danilo, Bremer, even Sandro, Locatelli was great. Chiesa and Vlahovic, we'll talk about Chiesa and Vlahovic. For me, it's just not enough time together yet, especially playing in that manner, whatnot. But I'm not going too hard on Vlahovic. I saw the criticisms out there yesterday and whatnot. He's still just getting back into it with us, and he didn't play in that setup with us before he got hurt.
That's true.
So I'm not expecting it to be full go right off the hop. But from an individual standpoint, as far as a performance, I don't know. I probably wouldn't go too hard and just keep him level at what he started for a rating. What do you guys have to add as far as Vlahovic and Chiesa yesterday before we get into a more overall look?
Omar?
Yeah, I think the connection was there. I liked what I saw from Vlahovic. The touch, he had the touch of someone who hasn't played for 3 months and is now playing in a new setup with someone he hasn't played yet in this setup. So the desire, he was high-fiving everyone, he was clapping, pushing the team forward. Like the desire and the heart was in the right place. It's just the execution will take some more time and, shake off all these injuries that he had. But besides that, I liked what I saw. It was fine.
All right. Luca?
I'm going to build off that just with what I said to you guys in our chat yesterday. I mean, if you look at it, let's say you disconnect everything and you're just an unbiased fan watching the game, it wasn't his best game. That's very clear. He's straight off an injury. That's fine. What I picked up on, and I think it's important for us to focus on, the positive aspects of yesterday's game. His connection with Chiesa is on and off the field. We know it's from the past. We know they get along. And every time one of them had the ball, or they're always looking for the other one. And if they messed up a pass, first thing they do, lift up their arm and they apologize. And when they were next to each other and they messed up something, there's a high five 5 seconds after. I know it's not something everyone notices, but I feel like in a club right now where everything seems to be going to shit off the field, these guys need to have faith and trust in each other, and that will motivate them to want to do better for the guy next to them. I think as a team, it's good to see those two clicking. I think it'll just build and build, and I think it's up to Max to get the best out of them. And I honestly think if I'm a defender and I see those two, even if they're messing up, I see them still very into it, I'm shitting my pants because those are two high-class players. And when they're on, they could be, very destructive to any defensive line. So for me, seeing that was a great positive from yesterday's game.
Yeah, I think there were some moments in there where it was like, okay, you could see what the intentions are, what they're trying to make happen and whatnot. Obviously, it wasn't falling, but again, they've got to get familiar with one another again on the pitch together. And this is a different setup than what they were used to previously. And again, there's a lot more to it. You could put top quality players out there, but for me, it always still comes down to ideas and basics and patterns that just open up those lanes and areas for these guys to do their work. And I think there has to be some type of structure set up that helps them achieve what they're trying to achieve, because I don't know, I've always had that belief, and just, what I've seen out there in certain coaches and what they practice. And when you watch other teams play and how the movements all make sense, and then you watch Juve and it's a little bit challenging. And I think now we're going to get to a more overall look. But as far as Vlahovic and Chiesa go, I don't have any concerns about either one of them necessarily yet. And if it's going to be this deadly duo or whatnot, because it's just far too soon to make any of those types of judgments. But the idea is what they're trying to do is right. A couple of times yesterday, you could see it and you can get hyped up. A couple of times yesterday, you could see that it was forced and they were not on the same page. So you got a mixed bag there yesterday. But again, give it some time. Let's have a little bit of patience. Chiesa, he's there with Locatelli as one of the guys we're going to be leaning on moving forward. And again, just give it some time. More overall look, everything and everybody. Adrian Rabiot had a better game. We talked about Danilo, Bremer, Sandro doing good, being solid. Cuadrado helping on the right side. For me, the one main thing with this team overall is that you still have bodies that are going to be inconsistent, okay? And when you look at this team, if we are not solid defensively, we are going to struggle because we are not a team that is going to go out there and bag a bunch of goals. And when you score 3 goals and you're Juve, you should be winning games. And when you draw Atalanta, it's because, again, you've lost that solidity for whatever reason. You're not locking things up. And we could talk about, we did, and we covered the individual performances and overall team performance in that one. But this team, for me, is still lacking big time offensively. And I don't know if the freewheeling thing is, I'm not going to hold my breath that just putting the quality players in there will sort itself out and just make all of a sudden all these goals pop in. I'm not terribly convinced unless we're playing weaker opponents and whatnot, but I think we need a little bit more when we play the stronger opponents. And now we're going to get into like a Europa League type discussion, whatnot. But what do you guys think about that kind of thought? And Omer, I see you want to lead off. Go ahead.
No, I completely agree with what you said. We need patience, understanding each other and where does everyone move. It takes a bit of time. That move where Chiesa managed to square a low ball that was coming in high and looked like it was going out, and in one touch he put it into the 5-yard area.
Yeah,
that was class. That's a world-class move that I don't know who else pulls it with his right leg.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to bring up another point, quick one about the match, but Luca, go first and answer what Al said.
Well, mine, if we're looking at big picture now, I think this question has to come up, and I think we've talked about it in the back room yesterday. I want to bring it up now to you guys because we've now gone through 2 Coppa matches where we haven't conceded a goal. I think the question now has to come. Perin has had 2 great games in the Coppa. Maybe it's just a Coppa thing and not a league thing. Nothing against Szczesny. I think he's still good. If at this point, do we put Perin for the league? Does it make a difference? What do you guys think? I want your thoughts before Omar brings up his other point.
For Perin?
Yeah.
That was my point.
Perfect. Great.
I think it will be unanimous in the chat. You can all answer, but for me, I think Perin should.
He deserves a shot, I think,
Szczesny.
just to see.
I
think he deserved it.
I have no issues with Tech or Perin, to be 100% honest. I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, Tech's got some howlers here and there, probably per capita based on performances and whatnot. Perin, I'm trying to think of a Perin howler right now.
It's rare that you see him like make a really just a blunder. Usually for Perin, it's a nice goal. It's not like he fumbles the ball or something. It's rare you see him make.
No, he had a few, but it was in his previous tenure.
Yeah, it wasn't with us.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm trying to say for us, for Juventus. I can't think of a Perin howler.
There was a game we lost to Genoa, I remember. We conceded from Pandev and Sturaro, and it was just 2 howlers from him. But it was in his first tenure at Juve, so
yeah, that's
a long time has passed.
Yeah,
he matured.
He's definitely better now.
He's a better goalkeeper, and I think just the way he communicates with everyone and always talking, always pointing, is something that Tech doesn't do. Tech usually gets frustrated when things don't work out.
I'm gonna stick with this. I don't think it's an issue, and again, even if we're talking about communication thing, when I think just the solidity that we saw yesterday isn't always there because this team is inconsistent. And Szczesny, again, he's been in there more. So he's been in there more also for the shit performances.
Right.
And I think it all plays a part. If I look at this thing, Juve has 2 number 1 goalkeepers.
Mm-hmm.
If I look at this thing, and I honestly, moving forward, I'm fine with whoever he puts in. I don't think there's a big boost with either one. I think it's fine, and I think it's the same back there with either one you play. My preference, that's a different answer.
What's your preference?
I'll give you. Okay? And I'm not going to give it to you. But my preference is different. I'll just say that.
Grief.
It's like to see Luca get fired up there. I'm not going to give my preference. But preference is different, but right now I don't think it's a big problem moving forward. We do have a question coming in, and I just want to let Marco know that he's got a good question in there when we get back to Vlahovic. I want to get this one first, and that is, How do you rate Fagioli's performance? I'm going to be real clear about this one. I think the way the game was played by Juve kind of took Fagioli out of it. And you don't have to look very far to see that. He had 26 total touches in his, just shy of 70 minutes game time. He touched the ball 24 times. The game took it away from Fagioli. We were left side dominant for a lot of it. And again, I go back to how we use our mezzalas. And more often than not, they bomb ahead miles forward from the back line and Locatelli, and we're trying to break lines and find them. I don't agree with it. I think, and it's funny because if you look at a couple sequences in the first half when Juve was really struggling, those mezzalas were bombing forward. Kostic got locked and absolutely clamped down on the flank. The second Rabiot started delaying and started coming back and being closer to Luca, all of a sudden those midfielders that were being taken back with our mezzala Rabiot that were shutting down that flank, all of a sudden they had to hold. And some of them were drawn in by Rabiot, and then all of a sudden, you start opening up spaces for where you do want to move the ball. And this is why I say there's a much bigger picture than just quality of players and everything going on. But Fagioli, the game took it away from him. Do you guys have anything to add?
I think it was good. I think he had a decent game. He had his hands full with Luis Alberto. Like the right side of Lazio midfield was weaker. Even when SMS came in, he failed to settle into the game and find his room. But overall, Fagioli, he doesn't dive straight into tackles. When we come out of press, he controls the ball well and always looking for passes rather than just kick it upfield. I like what I saw. Again, with all the youngsters, and what Max has to realize is that they need minutes, they need consistency, and he should give it to them. Fagioli is getting better and better.
There you go. Luca, anything to add on Fagioli?
My only addition to what you guys said is I wasn't mad when he came out, but what I'm happy to see is that it was Miretti taking his spot when he did come out. It's better than seeing Paredes come in, and I think Miretti does cover that role more than fine, and he also could offer a little bit more going forward. So I'm not sure if that's what Max wanted out of Miretti, but seeing him come in as a sub, I think that was a perfect 1-for-1, and I'm glad it was that and not Paredes.
I hate how we use our midfielders.
We won't touch that one.
In general, I hate the ideas of what we try to do. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Just going to leave it at that. We're going to move on to this question.
That's a Max problem. Yeah.
If you had the option right now to sell Vlahovic for 80 million euros and get 4 players in his place to fortify the squad, would you do it at this point?
No.
I mean, if we're going like, this is a lot of speculation here that you're going to get 80 for him and you're going to get 4 players. Off this, I'm going to say yes, because 4 is a lot, but I don't think you could get 80, and I don't think you could get 4 with 80. So,
I don't think you can get 4. I think you still need to replace Vlahovic if you're selling him, and a top striker, someone good, won't cost 20 million.
It's like 50, 60 easily.
The reality. So you either extend Keane, which already costs 40, or Milik, which could be injury prone if he's the first striker, because he was injury prone in his career. And no, you have an asset, you have time with him, you still need to hold on to him and give him more opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't sell him, not for 80. We bought him for approximately
70
80.
something,
so nothing short of 120 million would satisfy me.
Right now, my mind is not made up. So I would say no. I don't like the 80 million price tag, number one, especially depending on the teams that would be coming in.
Yeah.
No way. You want Dusan, we're in the driver's seat because we own him and have the rights.
Mm-hmm.
Up that price. So at 80 million euros, no. 4 players. If 80 million was going to get you 4 players on today's market, they would probably be around Rincon. So I'd probably say no to that. But I think it's too soon. Yeah. I've been a little critical of him earlier on in the season and whatnot. There was a turnaround as far as mentality goes, but now we've got differences. There's a lot of question marks. I think overall, when we look at this Juventus, and let's take Vlahovic, let's put Allegri in there, let's put all the guys in this. This is an absurd situation that Juve's in right now. This is not normal terms. When I brought up the fact that I can sympathize with Max, and even if you take Max Allegri out of it, with what people believe in terms of his approach, his pragmatism, all this, if you take that away, I don't care who the coach is, I would sympathize with any coach that was in this scenario right now. It is by far an absurd season with everything that this team has had to deal with. And it's not easy. Vlahovic, I think everyone's got to remember too, is still pretty young. We paid for the ceiling.
Yeah.
We paid for the ceiling, and you can't make that decision so quickly. It does need some time there, and maybe Max isn't the guy to bring it out in him and whatnot. Maybe he isn't the guy, and maybe another coach would be doing more for Vlahovic and whatnot. And you could talk about Vlahovic and his numbers at Fiorentina and what he was doing. Teams play Fiorentina differently, and it's a little more open. There's a lot of things going on, but I think it's too soon to make that call. Luca?
I just want to wrap up and say, let's look at it this way. De Ligt was around the same value, and we only got one player to replace him. Like, we're not going to get four guys, and 80 million. Okay, it's not a little amount. It's obviously a lot, but we also invested 70 something into him. I don't like. It's unrealistic.
I can get you 3 for nothing, just salary.
Yeah. But those are guys that have contracts ending. Yeah. But again.
Yeah, but those are guys. Those are buddies. Like, no, what I'm saying is I won't sell him because we can get 3-4 guys with no contract without selling him and keeping Kushan.
It's a tough question because it's first of all, you have to look at the realism of the question. But if you take all that out, then you just look straight up at the question and say 80 million, 4 players, it's a pretty good deal. But then again,
the Ligt got 3 seasons to show what he's worth.
Exactly, it's a little bit different too.
Kushan is here now a year position, and 2 days.
Different coach.
More time. Give him more time.
Let's evaluate it in the season. I think that's right now. It's not the time to be thinking about that.
All right. So let's get to basically what's on deck for Juventus. Okay, so Inter now semifinals, April 4th and 25th. Inter Merda, Juve. Real quick, Juve going through to the final of Coppa Italia.
Yeah, and just to note something, the second game is at home. We play the first one away, second at home.
Yeah.
I say yes, we will be in the Coppa Italia final. Now, in this month remaining, Salernitana on the road, Fiorentina at home, and then we have the first leg against Nantes in the Europa League, then Spezia away from home, and then the second leg against Nantes, and then Torino. So there's a lot of football. In March, Juve has 3 games so far until we see if we advance in the Europa League. Now, in the league games,
I think there's international break there.
Yes.
Maybe that's why.
In the league games, Salernitana, Fiorentina, Spezia, Torino. How many points are we going to pull out? Early month prediction. How many points out of those matches?
Should get all of them.
Should.
I say we get all points. 12 points. Now,
I think 7 points.
Are we going to advance and beat Nantes in the Europa League?
Yes. Also, yes. I think February is a great month, and we're going to have an awesome, not awesome, but we are going to have a great month. I hate January. I always said it. It's the worst month for Juve, always, and it hasn't been different this year.
We had a good month with Pirlo. We beat Barcelona that month.
No, we didn't.
Yes,
we played Barcelona in October. No, who plays Champions League group stage in January? Luca.
Okay,
Come
So
on.
Nance, we're saying we're going through. Luca is lost completely right now.
Okay, move on.
He hasn't answered a question in 3 right now. I'm going to answer Trey's right now.
I said 7.
Pogba termination is picking up a lot. How possible you guys think that is? And if he does, okay, I'll just tell you guys right now. So
cut the bullshit.
Romeo Agresti, I messaged him and I said, dude, what's the deal? He says, absolutely no chance. Okay? So absolutely no chance. I said, is there any out? Like, why is this picking up so much steam? He said, no chance. There's no chance.
I'll tell you why.
Juve's not even thinking about it.
I'll tell you why. Just one page with a lot of followers read what Gazzetta wrote, that Juve are considering not paying the bonuses and stuff. And they misinterpreted it as Juve are looking to get rid of Pogba. They posted it, and afterwards all the big accounts followed it. And it was just they didn't read the article correctly and didn't try and wanted to get traction, so they wrote it.
The fact of the matter is simple common sense. You can't break a contract just because you're frustrated and simply want to lose it. Pogba would have to terminate on his side too and be okay with it. So
this is Italy, Bert. There is no common sense in contracts.
It's well, we're not. The FIGC isn't involved in our contract, so yeah. Now news. We're gonna get to some news. Bonucci, as far as injury updates go, Bonucci should be back for Nantes, but I don't expect him that he'll be playing anyways. It's Nantes or Fiorentina for
remember
Bonucci.
the Chilio.
Pogba now apparently it was supposed to be Salernitana this Tuesday. Apparently now is going to be Fiorentina. We continue to wait. Frustrating stuff.
TikTok.
There is the appeal. Juve is ready. Okay, so their appeal for Coney, everything is all set and it's ready. And apparently it also includes new documents backing their numbers and everything that was previously not disclosed to the court. We will see what happens there. Juve's prepping their fight. Team lists for Europa League. Obviously, Paul Pogba is included. Dean Hewson, the one that could be renewed, the one that Romeo Agresti came on the show and said is first team ready, is on the team list for Europa League. So that is our news, but it doesn't stop there. There is another case the FIGC is looking to turn to Juventus, and that is because Luciano Moggi was at the Juve Primavera game and was on the sideline. Of course, Luciano Moggi has a lifetime ban and was not able to be there. So the FIGC is conjuring up yet another case. And this is hilarious, and it just... at what point does it end?
How's that our issue? Like, what? How's that a problem for Juventus?
That guy really needs a woman in his life. That Kinega. I'm sorry. That's a bored guy who just
maybe
it's
doesn't
too
like
evident.
Omar.
He must lead a sad life, but it is beyond ridiculous at this point now. And I don't even know what to say to it. I had a good friend of ours in the show asking me, and it's Nick. Nick's going to be involved, and it's Nick Cardone and whatnot. But he said, at what point, like, he goes, I've had enough of everything in Italy. And I said, absolutely. I agreed with him. And I said, for me, this is it. And I think I shared a little bit of it yesterday, but the best case scenario for me is a Super League forming that doesn't have the Prem teams involved, and Juve says to FIGC and Serie A, they can be left to rot and they crumble. And it's sad for me because of the history and the league being involved and whatnot. But you know what? I'm also not afraid of change. And change is the one thing that's constant in the world and in life. You will always be faced with changes. Do not fear change. Leave Serie A to rot, and we thrive and continue to move on. And then all those little chihuahuas can be left there to yip and yap and whatever. And it's whatever. Sit there. They're having their fun. They're making their jokes now as if Juve didn't carry them for years and years. It's an absolute joke. but I've had just about enough.
I saw something funny today. I saw that. It's not funny, but it's not funny. But Sampdoria are nearing bankruptcy, and the FIGC want to deduct them points for not paying salaries for the players. So, first of all, also Inter didn't do that, and no one said anything. No one even cared.
Yeah,
your players can be slaves and work for free. No one cared.
But Juventus.
Now, how does that type of stuff happen and will continue to happen? And that's what Luciano Moggi said, and he's right. Without the plus valenza, without that method, a lot of clubs would have already gone bankrupt, and Juventus would not have been one of them. Okay? Now, who poured money into the bank accounts of these teams more than anyone in the league?
Preach.
Juve. Part of the reason these teams are not going bankrupt is because Juve kept buying their talents, giving them a lot of money to work with, to pay their salary, to bring in new players, to do whatever they want, renovate their stadium, their dressing room, whatever. And if Juve would stop doing that, they wouldn't be the first team to go bankrupt or lose anything. They will bounce back. They have extra. They're fine. They're not worried. Sampdoria will take decades to come back to where they were, and we have teams that it happened to them and just failed to get back, and we kind of lost them.
You guys would know this. Do we have the newest stadium in Serie A? I mean, I can't.
Yeah, because the other ones got put on hold.
Right.
I think that's still the one. There was plans for a bunch of them, but I haven't seen anything. Right? There was, I could tell you there's probably been about 20 plans and concepts put out there that have all been frozen. So they have, and Omer, finish off your point and do it, man. Just do it. Do it for FIGC. Just send them one of those. Let's go.
No, that's my point. FIGC.
Yeah, no, but send it. Send them the.
Yeah, the T.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
100%. Anthony,
I'll give you that. And no, I mean, come on. You have to know that money trickles down from the top to the bottom. Put it however you want. No one could have paid in Italy 90 million for Higuain or buying all those Mandragoras and, ship them around. Money is moving because Juve made it move for a decade. And if FIGC, who have done nothing to help these clubs go out of bankruptcy, because it solely falls to the hands of the bigger teams to make that happen. If FIGC would have done anything to help those clubs with their salaries and not make them lose all their best players for nothing and take them out of the league, they would have done better. But they're doing nothing, then they're penalizing them because they can't play their players and penalizing the teams that do make those teams keep their head afloat. Yeah. And that's Italy in a nutshell for you. The Italian league, not entirely.
Now, I'm going to remind everybody, please take a second, hit the like button. Okay, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, whatnot. Live chat, you guys have been on fire today. We even had Anthony jump in from a fishbowl. How the hell did he get the clock up in the fishbowl? That was wild. Anyways, Anthony, good stuff. We're telling FIGC to stuff, and we've gone through the news. Today is the Back on Track documentary release for Federico Chiesa. So I'm sure that's on everybody's docket for this evening to check out. Some probably stayed up and checked it out because I know that release time. But I'm going to be checking it out tonight. It's going to be a decent watch. There's some quotes in there from, I see Chiellini being posted out there. I'm going to try to steer clear of that because I don't want any spoilers. I want to just go into it free mind and check it out. But Juve, never a dull moment. Right now, what's going on, we take it one day at a time. For everybody that tries to everybody's going to have their theories as what they think is going to happen. This thing is far from over. The team's got to continue to work hard and get the job done. We got to hope that the guys that we need to rely on don't, in fact, give up, and that the guys that are going to be moving forward continue to just drive this bus, man. And it's got to be Chiesa. It's got to be Locatelli. Fagioli is going to be a big part of it. We talked about his game yesterday, and see what. And sorry, Prime. Everybody in the chat, guys, let's go. It's on Prime, Amazon Prime. Okay, Now, guys, got a little bit of a breather now. A little bit of a breather before we get crazy with games. But Sunday, we're going to have Mirko Di Natale on live. We always love when Mirko comes on, so it's going to be good, and we'll see what happens. Tuesday, of course, Salernitana. We will do a match day live again, and then no watch along, but then we'll get going. So it's going to be good stuff. Everybody in live chat, now is your time for Storm the Barn questions. All right, bus of women. Razzle, take it easy today with this bus of women, man.
Damn, dude.
Take it easy.
This ain't Monza. Pump the
Relax.
He has a point.
I mean,
No, he has a point. Come on, like Luciano Moggi has attended a game and we're getting investigated. Meanwhile, Berlusconi offers about.
Oh, that comment was great. I highlighted that
what
comment
he's referring
before.
to,
It's great.
though,
It's just
That's what he's referring to.
That's what he's
like,
referring to, man.
He's allegedly provided hookers to his team.
Allegedly. Just because he said on video does not mean it's true, Omar.
Where's the wiretaps, though? I need to know if it was legit.
Oh, I will
Legit.
say this, Berlusconi and Galliani are too smart to get mixed in all of that. They're not dumb. They know Italy.
Smart.
They know the market. I mean, that's the former prime minister of Italy.
I don't know if it's necessarily smart or connected.
Connected. Yeah, they just know people.
It's
Maybe connected.
just connections.
Yeah.
Only our phones are tapped. Yeah, like, come on,
Only
Juve.
yours,
Key
Michael.
words here. Key words.
That's true. It's only Juve, but it does happen because we are a publicly traded company and the police are wiretapping because they think there's something that has gone wrong. They can't do that at free will to privately owned companies. So that's
As an investor in Juventus, I have no issues with what they're doing. I think they should be cleaned of all charges and let them just play the league.
We're going to get to our first Storm the Barn. Again, everybody, now's your chance to get any questions in. I'm going to open up to you guys, too, before we get into these ones. Is there any questions you guys have on anything that we might not have addressed so far?
No, we're covering a lot of ground here.
Then let's fire away. So Ramo comes in here saying, do you think the midfield should be looking to play down the middle more rather than always go down the flanks? Who wants? I could take this first if you guys want, or
I would say it depends the team we play.
Honestly. I mean, it kind of goes along the lines of how the games work. When we watched that Monza game, this is what drove me crazy, is the fact that the flanks were completely shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't try to go through the middle, and we weren't. And again, that same thing on how we use our midfield players. Bombing up the mid-salas, they take away options from your wingbacks. They get too far advanced, and if the lanes are gone, they're useless. So you end up doing this rinse and repeat of just passing the ball from the defender to the flank to the defender, go around the other side, flank, defender, flank, back around the other side. In certain games, you have to force the opponent to give you the lanes you want. You need to create that space. We're not always doing it. We're doing the same thing out of our midfield players. And yeah, that frustrates the hell out of me. I said it today. I hate the way we use our midfielders. I think there's a much easier, simplistic setup that we could be utilizing. Either two pivots with one advanced centrally, not one advancing from either left or right. Or you can use one defensive mid, leave them deep, but keep your other two guys as creators. Then you have to change. And I don't know if that one necessarily suits Juve as much as two base pivots, one attacking. So that would be my preference. But again, it really depends from game to game what that opponent is also doing and how they're lined up. That's my thoughts. You guys want to elaborate anything or?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you need to know how to play through the center and through the wings. You don't need to have only one set structure where you only go through the wings. Lazio left the wings wide open. It was easier for Cuadrado to get forward and for Kostic to get forward. Mm-hmm. Might have been a different case against a different team or against Inter that are coming up in the Coppa Italia. Yeah. They are locking the flanks. So we need to learn to do both, but I think the 3-5-2 kind of restricts you to it, and it's not that good because you only have one guy there who needs to run up and down all game long.
Yeah.
So that might be a problem.
I got a question that I'm going to get to. Michael Razzo store the bars. Do you think Italy used the only phone bug they can afford on Juve since we are the worst thing to happen to Serie A? They're starting to treat us like we're the worst thing that's ever happened to that damn league, and it's infuriating. My question to you guys is, everybody's healthy. How do you line up Juventus in your mind? And this can be regardless of seeing it or whatnot. What is your best in terms of something we would have to try, all bodies healthy?
I feel like me and Omar are going to have a very similar one.
I already said mine, I think, two
but I didn't include...
but that wasn't all bodies healthy.
Yeah, I didn't include Pogba.
That was for that specific opportunity and moment in game. So let's say all healthy.
Go, Omar.
Okay. Right now, everyone healthy. I'll go Perin.
Mm-hmm.
4-man back line, Cuadrado, Bremer, Danilo, and possibly Ealing, but just for the sake of it. No, Ealing. You know what? I'm going with Ealing.
Good.
And anyone is going to say he's not a defender and stuff, so was Alphonso Davies, and he's one of the best LBs in the world. So if you want to attack, you need someone who can attack, not someone who only defends.
Mm-hmm.
The middle is easy. Locatelli, Fagioli, Pogba. Attackers also easy. Di Maria, Vlahovic, Chiesa.
That's mine.
Landucci on the bench.
That's mine. That's exactly what I would do. I'm okay with that.
Cool.
All right. Got some shouts for 3-4-3, 4-3-3. Devastating trio. Chiesa, Vlahovic, Di Maria.
I think it depends on who's playing, because we saw that Sule is better in the middle. I think Di Maria, you can play him either right or center. Chiesa far better out on the left or on the right rather than the center.
So Omar, in brief form now, because I was looking at live chat, give it real quick to me right again. Formation and names. Yeah, real quick.
4-3-3, Perin, Cuadrado, Bremer, Danilo, Ealing, Locatelli, Fagioli, Pogba, Chiesa, Vlahovic, Di Maria.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's not too far off from what I would do. The three in the middle, I would set up more as a 4-2-3-1, to be honest. If I was not seeing anything, I would have Pogba ahead of Locatelli and Fagioli, and I would work those two guys as pivots because they're great ball retentive midfielders, and Locatelli, what he does defensively is massive.
Let's do something interesting. Line up your worst lineup you can think of.
No,
please, I don't need the heart attack. It's a good game. It's not rooted.
I don't want to do the worst one, but that's not far off from what I'm doing. The one place I get stuck is what I want to do on that back line. And I can understand the shouts for trying Ealing Jr. on the back there, and that might be something worth exploring for Juventus. And you can look outside of Juve for some examples of where that's happened and worked out. So, Michael Razzo. We got that one. What am I doing here? What coach, from Ivan here, what coach would you like to see next year? Allegri is definitely outdated as a history, not playing youngsters. Are you down for some no names like Zizou or Tuchel, Conte? So we gave our short list not too long ago, and I think it was the same group. It was Omer, myself, and Luca. And some of the names that were on that short list were Dionisi. We had Conte. I put out there something you would have to explore given where we're currently at. But financially, I see more someone like Dionisi. Gallardo was on there. You were going off the wall with one of your selections, Omer. Refresh my memory.
I said Roger Schmidt from Benfica.
Yes.
It wasn't Schmidt. It was somebody else.
I had Jesse Marsh. But all the guys who are Leeds fans said, I'm not basing that off his Leeds days. I'm basing that off his Salzburg days. The Premier League is a different story. It's a bit harder, but
we definitely had Zizou in there. We didn't. None of us touched Tuchel there or put him on the list. Whatnot. I think it's going to be inexpensive option when we move on to the next coach, being realistic. So a guy like Zizou and whatnot, and you really have to question if Zizou is the guy at this moment in time. To be honest, I said it on that show, I would have liked De Cherby. And I think there was a time there. We're talking about going full circle with Allegri. And at the time, you could have justified getting rid of him. That was right around the same time that Cherby ended up going to Brighton and whatnot.
It was
exactly literally all
right
in
after
that
Monza.
week
right
span.
after Monza, exactly.
And I think De Cherby would have been a very, very interesting one. But again, you're going to have some fans that weren't with that and some that were for it. Hey, it's all where you think, it's all what you think, and it's all good. Opinions are opinions. Not sure why Luca decided to throw that symbol out for people that have a different opinion.
I said it, and I got so much heat for it, but now I went like, oh, yeah, he's doing good with Brighton.
Oh, because you got heat for it.
Yeah,
oh, so it's everybody
point,
who gave you heat for wanting De Cherby. You got to make that clear.
Because everyone at that point, Bert said he was untested. Now he's killing it with Brighton, and they're all like, oh, we've come to see the light. Well, I damn told you. So
yeah, but you know what?
Always killed it with Brighton.
All the coaches have question marks.
He's doing better, though.
Even De Cherby, even Dionisi, who I wouldn't mind coming in.
Yeah.
He still has Zizou has question marks.
They all
Conte carries question marks.
Yeah.
You will never have somebody that you're like 150% yes instantly, unless it suits your preference on what they're doing, how they play, what their approach is. I'm with that style approach, and who the guy is. Hey,
I think the best course of action would be someone young, up and coming from the league. Considering everything, salary, project, youngsters, everything, I think someone from the league who's not high profile would be the ideal choice.
Yeah. Hold on. I want to address this because he says less question marks than Max. Again,
that's true.
I will say this. The question marks have arisen, though, because I say it again. If you go back to when Max was brought in, if you would have said in 2 years' time, we're going to be getting swept by Monza, all this and whatnot, everyone would have said, no chance. No chance.
Yeah,
Juve's struggling this bad, whatever, in a second year after Max gets, and yet here we are. So again, the question marks arise, and we could find ourselves getting a modern style football coach and still be in the same boat in a couple of years. This roster, it's all got to come together, everybody. Let's get a team. Let's get a management team first.
Let's get a sporting director and go from there.
Let's get that sporting director, management team. There we go.
How many goals? Doctor.
How many goals do you think Chiesa and Dusan will score? How many of those goals will come from one assisting another? So we got what? 18 league games left? Is it 18 left? Yeah. 18 games left. 18 league games left. If I had to throw a number out there, Chiesa and Dusan, how many goals they'll score combined? Probably, I'm going to say... that it's not going to be a high number. It's not going to be astronomical. If I had to guess, I'm probably going to say that there's going to be maybe 12 or 14, 12 to 14 total combined between the two.
Let's do it differently because it's hard to give a specific number. Yeah. Over under 15
goals.
Under
15.
Combined.
Under. Yeah,
combined. I say under.
That
under.
was the question.
How many goals will Chiesa and Dusan will score? Over under 15. I'm going to say under.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. Then I'm going to go over. Assisting each other under 10.
I think they're going to get more assists from other players.
Yeah, it's a question of fitness and stuff. We can't.
Yeah,
we don't know how many games they're going to play.
Yeah.
Under. There you go. I'm scanning, looking for some more Storm the Barn, not seeing much, and we're kind of at that time, everybody. I might have to change my prediction though because Anthony went under. But I can't go the same as Omer because he always flips out. It is what it is. All right, everybody. Hey, one thing's for sure. It is nice to have a win to talk about again. So this was a lot of fun. Just for that, hey, take the victories. Okay. It is what it is. Is there still work to do? Absolutely. Absolutely. But take the wins. This is not normal circumstances for any football club to have to endure. There's added pressure to the team and the fact that they have a lot of guys that know they're not going to be here next year, and it would be easy for those bodies to give up. Max has to juggle all this amongst probably some shortcomings strategically in terms of the offense. We got to start scoring goals though, because when we're not solid, that's when you have games that end up in disasters. So we got to pick it up offensively, and I hope the goals start coming. Hopefully it happens Tuesday against Salernitana. We'll be live on Sunday with Mirko Di Natale. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you, everybody in the live chat. As always, you guys are amazing. Enjoy the few days until we get to the live show with Mirko. I'll be bringing you daily news updates till then. Luca, Omer, as always, a pleasure. For anybody that's tuning in on audio, get over to YouTube for the extra stuff, extra videos, extra fun, the match day lives, the watch alongs, and the live interviews. We had Romeo Agresti, and now we're bringing back Mirko Di Natale. All right. So get over to YouTube and subscribe. Everybody, until next time, as always, it's fino alla fine. Forza Juve. Ciao.